So, I watched something, and I normally don't like venture out of the plant that we normally talk about, but there is something that I really need to talk about today, and I feel I have a responsibility to warn you guys that this person actually exists, and he is a real person, and he has thoughts, and he constructs them in a way that every sentence he says gave me whiplash. And this was like almost 2 hours of listening to this guy speak. And I just don't even understand how he goes about his day to day and how he interacts with people and how he's made it to the age of I believe 23 is how old this guy is. And he's on Caleb Hammer. He goes on to the podcast. He talks about his podcast stuff. Basically, what he does is a show called Financial Audit. And on this show, people come on and they have financial trouble. And Caleb Hammer, he'll look right into their finances. He'll look at their last month's statement. He'll kind of get an idea of what kind of life they're living, what they have their money tied up into, what their goals are, what they want to do with their lives, and how they've been living so far. And just kind of get them out of trouble, help them get out of debt, and set up plans for them. And I've been learning a lot about personal finance from this guy. But this guy right here, he is something else. So I just want to, I want to talk about him. I really wish there were people in the chat right now to actually see what I'm about to witness. But I'm going to do some commentary on it. And hopefully people join up and we can just kind of make fun of this dude and just have a good time.
It's time to take a spin on the
but I'm going to have a good time nonetheless. I watched this entire episode yesterday, and I just kind of needed a minute. I just kind of needed a minute to digest what kind of person he is, and I've never seen anyone like it. Anyone. Nothing. So we'll kind of dive into this, make fun of this dude a little bit, ask questions about how he is the way he is. So, here, we'll watch the preview. Just
know that you have paid women, and still do, for
I don't pay for nothing. They pay for me.
in quote from you, Chase lately.
When these women meet me and they talk to me and they get to know me, they love me.
The right?
You think Jeff Bezos with his pretty wife didn't have to pay her a little bit to be like, hey, come on a date with me while I get some...
So that's kind of the guy we're dealing
today
with.
And take control of your money once and for all. And for a limited time,
Automatically
sign
thinks
for the
Jeff
annual
Bezos'
version
wife
of
is
Premium and get
with
my
him
cookbook
because
and
he's
notebook
rich.
signed and
And
mailed directly to you. Link in the description and pin comment
Probably a
below.
popular opinion. Probably an
Hi,
easy
I'm
one to
Michael
jump
Suave.
to.
I'm 23 years old and I live in Austin, Texas. This is Financial Audit.
All right, let's
Thanks
fucking go.
for coming on, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I know you're pretty close to the studio, so what do you do here for a living in Austin? We haven't had like local in a while.
Yeah, that's true. You know, actually, I work in real estate right now. It's kind of my thing. Pretty much making cold calls and taking names is what I do.
Does that make money?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, right
Cold
now,
calls
I'm
and
just trying to
making
get by.
taking
I mean,
names.
really, it's all about...
Are you getting by?
You know, that's a good question, Caleb. I mean, I think getting by just comes down to if you can make the monthly rent payment.
Are you making the monthly rent payment?
Most of the time I am, you know? I mean, there's
When
a
are
bit
you
of luck.
not?
So this is a huge red flag right here. He's like, yeah, you know, getting by is definition if I can make the monthly rent payments. And then says, nah, most of the time I make the rent payments. Which basically means it's a long-winded no. And it's a complicated no. And you have to dig it out of a swamp of nothingness and be like, oh, this is what you meant. And a straight answer doesn't exist with this guy at all. I'm warning you straight up. He does not just say information. He just says
Really
word
when,
soup.
You know, I'm out of money. That's when I'm not making rent payment.
That's a given. I'm asking like when timeline are you typically not?
When I'm not, I'm trying to think. Probably by the end of this month. That's gonna be.
By the end of this month, it's a
That's
ticking
like
time
the chop.
bomb.
That's the chop
Well, why the
block.
f- are you doing this cold call real estate crap? What are you trying to be
Yeah.
an agent?
I'm switching gears a
No,
little
no, no.
bit.
Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing, because we need to position yourself in a place where you can make money and pay
Yeah.
your rent. What are you doing with your 40 hours allocated to work on a weekly basis? What are you doing?
Yeah, what I'm doing.
Probably nothing.
I'm trying to think. I mean, sitting by the pool quite often. You know, I think pondering my thoughts has been
No,
like.
and you're
He's like, hey, what do you do for work? What do you do when you're actually at your job? If you have to stop and be like, let me think, and you can't just say what you do for work, that's a that's a huge red flag when you're talking about your finances and your stability in
your
everything.
job. This cold calling bullshit.
Oh, job wise. I'm trying to think. Most of the time I'm just kind of sitting there and they give me like a huge list.
Who? What is the job?
Oh, the job? Oh,
Yes, what is the job?
So it's
Oh my gosh, dude. Bad start, my friend.
it's not like technically like a real job by any means. So
Not technically
Then
a
why
real
aren't
job.
you working a real job?
what's what I'm gonna look for? But you know what? I actually have
When's the last time you've had a real job?
maybe a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was
A few weeks ago,
luxury
he had a
short-term
real
house
job.
manager.
Okay, I don't know exactly what that entails, but what were you making?
I was making like $20 an hour. Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Lord.
40 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay, you can pay rent probably, maybe with that.
$20
depending on
an
your rent
hour isn't
situation.
that bad.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay.
make now, and I
Okay.
can kind of
Why'd you leave?
make shit work.
I know. I got fired actually. yeah.
But I also have a really good like rent setup, and
Why?
a lot of people
Well,
don't
I got
have
fired,
that, so I'm pretty
they have a
blessed.
company card which you use for the guests.
Oh, dude.
You know, if you want to get them like a little gift or something. But in my
Oh,
case,
dude.
the gift was to me, and it was
Oh, dude.
chicken nuggets.
What the f*** are you doing? You're nugging it up?
Who
Doing some
doesn't-
McNugs?
You tell me nuggets are you gotta have nuggets. I mean, telling you what, I can't go by without little nuggies.
Yeah.
You
use
can't
your
go
own
by
money.
without a little nuggies.
Why do I use Navan? No one asked
Wait until you find out what the nuggies actually are, because it took
makes
me a
managing
fucking
business
minute.
travel spend so freaking
I mean, that's
That's what you
true.
would do.
They don't.
That's what I do. I use my own money for my nuggies.
Did I tell you about the hack though? There's a hack. There's one thing.
Did I tell you about
Oh,
the
there's a
we've
hack.
Been talking for
This is one of the highlights of the show, and there's not many. There's not many highlights from this episode, other than like you can clip literally any 60-second segment and have it seem like it's out of context, have it seem like it doesn't make sense, and and in your mind, if you saw a short of it, it would give you a little bit of hope that there is something that would make it make sense in the episode, but none of it does. Every like fucking 30 seconds on the dot, he's going on a new tangent about fucking nothing.
3 minutes, and no, you've not used the word hack.
There's a good hack out there. It's called the DoorDash hack. What you
Is
gotta
this,
do?
is this the hack that got you fired?
It might have. I mean, there's some.
Doesn't sound like much of a hack.
There's some leniency involved. I mean, what happened
No,
was
you got fired. Doesn't sound very lenient.
it depends how you
All
look
right,
at
tell
it.
me.
So what happened?
Good morning, man. Sounds warm over there, man. It's probably in the 40s. I didn't have it like measured or anything. Like I didn't look at the actual temperature, but it feels fucking cold out here.
Pretty much, I was just
probably in the
home one
50s
day
in
and
my
I
house.
Company credit cards
But
right there.
good morning, Tim Yak.
You know,
Good to see
I
you.
opened up the DoorDash app and I just typed in my information, told them I want some Raisin Canes, came
Yes.
on over,
That is
and
how it works.
Raisin Canes.
accidentally used the company card.
DoorDashed it up.
Accidentally, yes. I like to use the word accident.
I accidentally typed in like 21 numbers to be able to use that card online. The lone chatter, dude, you're carrying the chat on your shoulders right now. And it's, you know what? It's not fair. And you know what? I'm proud of you. You're really carrying some serious weight this morning, Tim Yak.
Accidentally quite often.
I was going to come up with something
so
clever,
was
but
it
I genuinely
accidentally?
couldn't. I'm
It
sorry.
definitely was.
No, was it accidentally?
clever.
If you
Yeah.
like to use that word quite often.
They accidentally forgot to include some sauces, which actually made the meal free, which was good. So
So let's break that down. The hack to get his free nugs. It involved using a company card, so not even using your own money. hoping, coin toss, that they forget your sauce so that you can get the meal reimbursed. So, Tim Yak, these guys, first off, only one of them is a hack, all right? Unless you're talking about me, and then there's two hacks here. So, one hack is me, obviously, using your attention to get farther in life. But the other hack here is, I forgot his fake name, but...
It depends.
This guy right here, he is just so fucking stupid. I feel the need to talk to you guys about him. And
Look at it.
this guy right here is Caleb Hammer. And he is a guy who goes on YouTube and he interviews people to help them figure out their finances, help them get out of debt, help them build a plan, help them build a budget, and basically guide them in the right direction to financial stability so that they can retire with a good standing and get better credit scores, evaluate whether they're credit card people and they can manage that, and just see kind of where they're at generally in life. He's a really smart guy, and he's doing a whole lot, and I fucking love him. Yeah, 2.1. He's growing really, really fast, and he makes a ton of money doing what he does for good reason. He is very good at what he does. I definitely recommend his show, and that's partly why I want to show you guys this show. This is not a good representation. This is not a good representation of what he does. I just want to talk about his guest and how fucking difficult it must be to deal with him. So we'll talk about this a little bit, and then if you guys want to do like looking at genetics or looking into a certain kind of thing when it comes to cannabis, sure. But I really feel the need to talk about this guy and get it off my chest that I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to sit through this, and God damn it, if I had to see it, you do too.
So what happened, pretty much, I was just hungry one day, and company credit cards right there. I opened
It was
up
right
the
there. I
DoorDash
just could
app,
not
and,
use
just
it.
Typed in my information, told them I want some Raising Cane's, came on over,
That is
and
how it works.
accidentally used the company card.
Accidentally.
Accidentally used the
I
company
like to
card.
use the word accidentally quite often. So
Was it accidentally?
It definitely was.
No, was it accidentally? If
yeah.
you like to use that word quite often.
They accidentally forgot to include some sauces, which actually made the meal free, which was good. So,
Which this is the only
back to
segment he really
company,
uses
got
the
my
word
free- my
accidentally
free
in.
chicken.
Something tells me you probably were in the job and they used this as the final straw. And you were, how long were you in this job?
I was there for about like 5 months, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 months. 5 good months. 5 solid months.
I don't think so.
Just to give you guys a frame of reference of this guy's job stability, he thinks 5 months at a job is a good stretch. He thinks 5 months is like, yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Like, I don't even know how I'm not like a manager yet. Which I don't know how he got access to a company card. After 5 months of being at a place, he must have
Was
started
you
high
there?
somehow.
I mean, I would love to show you my skills.
I have no
and actually
idea.
Bring it to your company, Caleb.
The big question in my head is who in their right mind, unless you're a credit card company, who in their right mind would give this guy access to their money? Who? Who the fuck would do that?
And if you give me a chance,
fuck are you
I won't
talking
use
about?
a company credit card for chicken.
I wouldn't let you near a company credit card.
And this
Were you
is his
being serious or
first
you
pitch.
I know I'm being serious. I mean,
To
I'm
try to
telling
get a
you,
job
I got
on
the great
financial audit.
personality, I got the look.
Dude.
I know how to cook.
Okay, you're handsome. I don't know what cooking would have to do with
I mean,
what we're doing.
think about it. I mean, you're like, I'm like, what is this, like Breaking Bad? I'm like the Jesse.
This
You're
is
like
financial
the
audit.
The this is what? Financial audit? I mean,
He also thinks using the company credit card is okay, so you know. Yeah, he does think that, and I don't know. Like how common is that people just kind of use the company credit card for bullshit? Because I wouldn't let that fly. I would be looking at my statements on a monthly basis and being like, Just looking at every statement that came from every card from everyone who has one. And granted, I don't have a multi-million-dollar company. I wish I fucking did. But when I do, if I'm blessed to be in that position, I hope that I would have the wherewithal to manually go through my statements and be able to flag and audit every single one of my employees that has one, just for the security to know that my shit isn't being used for bullshit. Things have changed drastically, man. Even in the past couple of years, I'm having a hard time keeping up with shit. A lot of it's because I'm lazy and having my time taken up with a lot of other stuff. I mean, for example, this week I fucking slacked. In the past couple of weeks, I looked, and I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks, and I'm just so busy with adjusting to the new family dynamic and everything that it's a lot. I didn't think it would be that much. I didn't think it would be too crazy, but you know, when you're occupied with that stuff, it can definitely get in the way a little bit, but I try to get everything I can out to you guys. And but listening to this guy and hearing the people that are out there, he makes me feel a lot better about where I am in my life. And granted, I am 4 years older than him, but even at 23, I was way further ahead than this guy.
I'm thinking about like a comparison, like the Batman and the Robin. I mean, you could be like,
You're
like
the gay
this.
one?
Yeah. Be such a good worker. I promise not to use the company credit card yet, but if you give me some time, put in some effort, you'll see.
Are you being genuine?
I'm being honest. I'm doing this being honest as I can.
You actually want a job?
Yeah,
we
of
have
course.
like 50 job openings right now.
Really? What
You
is-
don't even know.
I mean, I looked. I saw
buddy.
one of them.
Oh, buddy, I think you might.
So let's skip over
Yeah, I get
to
that quite.
this chapter
Building.
right here where they talk about his prostitution.
Odin Valhalla
'Cause I don't wanna
Rising, now
completely,
available on
like,
mobile and PC.
Use this entire
I mean,
episode.
they
Honestly, I
told
might
me
get
you
copyright
told them you're
claim for
literally getting hooked.
using just some of it.
I don't know if I
Yes.
call them fuckers by any means.
I went disabled a year before the pandemic. Been watching social system crash for the past 5 years. Yeah, I know it's rough out there, man. And even a lot of disabled people, they don't get enough money, so they still have to do side hustles and still work to be able to make ends meet, because some people are only making like $1,000. Meanwhile, rent is on average like $1,200 to $1,500, and it's a disaster out there. You gotta fucking grind it out no matter who you are, and it sucks.
No,
But-
but you're literally paying women.
I
They're,
mean-
they're telling me right now.
That's okay. The
Pros-
hooker, very
pro-
the hot cooker,
pro-
very big.
pro-
Is that? Do you like pro? Caleb?
I've never had.
Are you sure?
I've never dabbled.
Are you sure? Because you seem to know a lot about this. I'm just curious, you know, because
Do
this is
I?
the
In that condescending tone, he's just like, he's trying to defend himself in like a really piss poor way. He's using prostitutes, doesn't want to admit to it. The term he uses, we'll get to that in just a second, believe me, the term he uses to describe them is not even related to prostitutes or hookers. We grow weed to save money, baby. That's what it's all about. Fuck yeah. And if you could make enough to save, for sure do it. I definitely advocate for it. Growing weed to save money. Hunting wild animals to save money. Growing your own food to save money. If you think about how much money you would save if you didn't have to go to the grocery store once. That's where I'm trying to get to. Where I have a self-sustaining like area where I do not have to go to the grocery store. Meat, got it in the freezer. Veggies, got them canned. Fruits, same fucking thing. Milk, fucking, what, you freeze dry it and then kind of crump it up into a powder, and then it's basically powdered milk that you can return into milk and it stays good for a very long time. Like, this is the kind of shit I'm trying to do. Fresh Forbidden Runts, dude. Did you grow it yourself? Probably, because you're on this channel, but fuck yeah, even I get stuff from the dispo sometimes. It's okay. Every once in a while. If you run out of shit and you don't have it, what else are
first
you
I've
gonna
heard
do?
about prostitution.
I
telling
smoke
me
way
that
too
you
much.
told them beforehand that you have paid women for sex and showing up to meets.
I was showing up to meets. The only meets I go to, baby, is at the club. Okay.
The only meets he goes to are at the
networking
club.
things and for
Jeez.
sex.
I mean, this ain't like some
No,
sex
hey,
party.
Hey, they're telling me
Fresh
you
from the front
have
room.
told them
Let's fucking
that
go.
You pay women
I've got
for intercourse.
I've got strawberry, banana, and blueberry in flower right now, and they're in week 4, coming on the tail end of week 4, and I am so excited to see how they develop. I also got a couple peanut butter breasts in there. I'm hoping one of them's male, and that I timed it right to where I can collect the pollen after the harvest, but we'll see how everything goes. We'll see how everything develops. If I have to pull the peanut butter breasts out for a little bit and give them a little bit of buffering time, I'm sure I can make that work. I'm just going to have to map that out, but I'm really hoping I waited long enough to where I can collect pollen and not pollinate my feminized seeds.
Pay for nothing. They pay for me.
So you're talking.
That's how delusional he is.
Now that you're
And by the way, he goes like later on in the interview, it's like right at the end somewhere. He's like, Caleb Hammer's just straight up like, how much like have you paid for sex? Like one interaction. And I've never seen Revenge of the Cis. What's that about? Because I might be interested in it. But I also broke my strawberry banana. I broke the top of it off, but the side branch is kind of stretched up to where the top was. And I was really nervous that the plant was going to outstretch the environment. And honestly, if I didn't like break that plant, it probably would be touching the light right now.
you're on camera.
I don't necessarily think the word applies to the situation at hand here. I mean,
Even
maybe
though it totally
you might know a little
does.
bit more about than I do.
You are.
Have you ever heard about taking out a girl at the ball? Have you ever done that before, Caleb?
Taking a girl out
ball.
at the ball.
You know what I'm talking
The
about.
bell, the ball.
Oh,
bell,
shit.
The bell of the ball. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
mine didn't
talking
break
about
that bad.
there,
How,
Caleb.
what did you
don't.
do?
I've
The
never gone
bell
to
of
the
the
ball.
ball.
What
the
happened?
Bell of the ball. You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Hey, look at Jeff Bezos. You think that guy? You think Jeff Bezos with his pretty wife? You think he didn't have to pay her a little bit to be like, hey, come on a date with me while I get some.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that too, man. I've had trouble starting seeds this year that I never had. I blame myself for using comedy show talks about everything. They cover a few of Caleb's people. Very funny. Maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, I had trouble germinating seeds. I was very generously sent seeds from a seed company called North. I'll look in my email. Real quick. Give me a second. Weed Seeds Express is what this place was called. And they very generously sent me a bunch of free genetics. They sent me 3 free packs. And I got to choose them. And I was so fucking excited for one in particular, Blackberry Moon Rocks. And that's one I might buy again. But the seeds ended up fucking dying. And I think it's because of the soil I used getting contaminated with some sort of bug or some sort of pathogen that they just were not prepared to deal with. And I don't know. I chalk it up to the soil because I've been growing since, and none of the seeds have had issues since I've gotten new soil.
No,
Get
I don't think so.
some
He's a billionaire.
contract
New
famous
suit,
and
Pro
I
Mix.
don't think he had to give money.
I'm telling
They
you.
might hope that they
that
get money in the
Jeff-
lifestyle, but you.
But anyway, what I was saying, the spoiler here, he asked him how much he paid for a prostitute. He paid $300 one time for a single prostitute. And he was like, so what did you get for $300? Like, what did you get to do? And he was like, oh, we got to make out a little, and she did a little something to my downstairs. And he's like, oh, she gave you a blowjob? And he's like, yeah. $300 blowjob, dude? Are you fucking kidding? When you can't pay rent? And your parents, another spoiler, his parents bought him a $2,000 car and he's supposed to pay it back. And they go into a phone call and he's like asking them how they feel about him not paying any payments for the car. And it's just such an insufferable conversation. Bounty towel in a Ziploc. Still have bad luck. Like the paper towel method, basically. The Bunny Ranch in Nevada starts at $1,500. Is that a prostitution ring or something? Or well, it's legal there, so it's probably just a brothel, basically. Is that what it is? The Bunny Ranch? But you also probably get to do some crazy shit with those girls, man.
You don't have money. No. I want to hammer this down.
And not just make out with them and get a
Shut
blowjob.
up. I want to hammer this down. You're not even close to rich. You use a magician for your advice.
You don't believe in magic, Caleb?
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you, magic is in sales, baby.
We have a place called Big Lick Ice Cream, and now it's called Ope It's Ice Cream. And that, from what I hear, used to be a brothel in my area. But I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and then we'll make fun of this guy a little bit more. All right, I'm back. Like, I was watching this episode last night, and the entire fucking time, there was not, like, a single second my jaw just wasn't on the floor.
And if you
Listen.
hire me right now, I promise you, I'll get every person in the
Here's
seat.
the thing
Second time he's pitching. He does it like
We
5
know.
times.
that you have paid women and still do for intercourse.
I wish.
No, we know that because you've told us that.
I mean,
And you're backtracking that on camera. And not only that, your weird rebuttal to it, because you don't know what to say, is that women pay you for sex, meaning that you just said you're a prostitute.
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I am a.
If you think about it, we're
If
all
you think
prostitutes.
about it, you want to know why, Caleb? You know why, Caleb? Because I exchanged my time for money, just like any
You
prostitute
have
would.
no money. I have your bank accounts.
Want to know the secret of
And it's so
authentic
weird.
content that performs everywhere, not just
On this
social?
show, it's a
Let's be
really
real.
common
Today's
trend.
audience-
People lie about how much money they have, and people lie about how much money they spend, even though Caleb has all of their fucking numbers right in front of him. It's such a weird thing.
I do have money.
You do not have money.
In the future,
Solution.
I do have money.
That doesn't
Mark
make
it
any
off the
fucking
bingo
sense.
cards.
does.
You actual moron.
I like to bring the past, the present, and the future, and I like to bring them together. Just to
And like throughout most of the episode, I was like, when are we actually going to get into his finances? We like hardly touch on the finances. So if you want to be like entertained by someone being super fucking stupid, go watch this episode. But let's just go into what he's spending his money on real quick, just to give you guys an idea of how he spends his time.
Well, no, I don't. I don't look down upon people going out to put food on their table for their family, to
I
keep a
don't, but
roof
I
over
just
their
don't.
head.
I just don't want that type of job, Caleb. I mean, that's not
Don't
fun.
want
No
it.
one
Might
wants
not
that
be a
type of
choice.
job.
I got
He
other
looks down on
though,
service
man.
workers.
Yeah, and you're converting it into $0.
Fries in the bag. That. We'll wait till 40 if I get there, and then I'll start saying
I
that.
don't think you will. You're gonna be fucking overdosed under a bridge.
I mean, at least I'll have you there with me, right?
No. Do you do?
No, I don't do.
Well, we know you
I
do
do
that.
I do.
on your old company's.
Keep in mind, he said he just didn't. He just said he does not do drugs.
Credit card.
Medicinal.
You went in, you got some BS from the gas station.
Medicinal
went in, got
is
some
code
BS.
for
Oh
weed.
my! Went in. What are you stopping in and getting the gas station for a few bucks? What are you getting?
I mean, I get some booze, you know.
Booze.
Just, like, I drink
Drug
a 6
number
pack,
2.
but I,
Booze.
Yes.
Car wash, which we live in Austin, there's really no need. Loco Sports. Loco Sports.
Locos. Oh my god, that's the best f***ing place on the planet, dude. It's like Hooters, but like Mexican. It is the best f***ing place on the planet.
He goes to a
That's where
Mexican
the Mamacitas
Hooters.
are. If you go there, oh my god.
Mamacitas is the word he uses to describe these women. And I guarantee he uses it in an objectifying way, like through and through. He does not know how to look at women as people based on this conversation.
God, dude, Hooters should have just rebranded to Hooters de Loco.
And by the way, that's not to take away from prostitutes or anything. Like, if you're doing sex work and you're doing it willingly and you're not getting trafficked and you're putting food on the table, you're doing your grind, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I do not care. I don't look down on service workers and I don't look down on prostitutes. But I'm not going to partake in prostitutes, and I don't respect the way this guy looks at women. I don't respect the way he expresses his feelings and thoughts towards women, and I don't respect the way he is as a person.
Because this is the beautiful place to go.
All right, Shangri-La knew something. Shangri, man, a restaurant, head shop on wheels, Halazzo,
Head shop on wheels. He went to a
Halal, that's
fucking
right.
weed
That's
store.
right.
Booze and Firehouse Lounge, the Austin Shaker, Friends Bar, Kung Fu Salon.
Kung Fu Saloon. That's what I remember. I remember that place. Beautiful place.
Okay,
A lot of karate going on there.
Booze P. Terry's. This is on a credit card.
Yeah, I feel like you like Pete Terry's. You like Pete Terry's?
P. Terry's is fine.
You like it? What's better? Pete Terry's, McDonald's? What's your choice? Best hamburger in the world? 3, 2, 1.
Well, P. Terry's probably has a better hamburger, but I do like the taste of McDonald's.
McDonald's is okay. I mean,
I mean, it's like a creation. It's like a science, right?
yeah.
The Cavalier
Cavalier. They got some good beef tallow fries. That's the only why I go there.
Lyft, DoorDash, Hawaiian AB.
I thought that was supposed to be on a company credit card.
Lyft,
Was that not supposed to be on the company credit card? The Hawaiian?
Booze, and Vietnamese restaurant.
He accidentally used his personal credit card when he wanted to use his company credit card for bullshit. I mean, this guy is just fucking crazy. And the way he looks at credit cards, like, let's see if I can actually find it.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room.
Because you
and built a
guys,
Wix
I don't
website
think
to
you're
sell
going to believe me when I tell you
Still
how he
barely
looks
made
at
any
credit
money,
cards.
probably, but yes, I'm sure you had just contracting roles, just like you're doing with this job.
Yeah.
And you didn't set anything cited for taxes. When you're just a standard 9 to 5 whatever job in your W-2, that's,
Maybe it's in this section.
don't give them the whole winded thing. Just ask them how they feel that you haven't made a payment.
Okay. See.
Ask him how much he wants a month.
Okay, this is the
Oh my
phone call
God.
with his dad. Never mind. We'll look at this.
If he doesn't pick up, it's okay.
Hello.
Dad, what are your thoughts about me not making the monthly payment on the car yet?
Not me.
Not making the monthly payments on the car. I'm on a podcast right now.
Why?
Because I wanna find out.
Ask him.
What do you think about me not making the monthly payments on the car yet?
I don't know. Tell me more. It doesn't mean anything. I guess I don't understand the question.
Okay.
So should I make my monthly payments or should I not make my monthly payments? Have
What-
you never made a monthly payment?
Yeah,
You
the
should have
fact
been?
the fact I haven't made monthly payments yet.
To you guys.
Well, what do you think I would think?
Probably not good, honestly.
Ask him how much he wants a month.
Look
How
at
much-
there. You didn't even need to call me for that.
How much is it per month?
He is so done. I didn't even hear that part. He is so done with his son. He's like, how do you think I would think about you not paying for your car that you agreed you'd pay back? He's like, probably not good. He's like, oh, look at that. You drew that conclusion yourself. So you didn't need to fucking call me. He's just so fucking done with it.
I don't know. How much is it per month? Why are you asking me these questions?
I'll talk to you, Dad. I just texted Mom about it. It's a podcast. I'll talk to you later, okay?
So at this point, he's $14,000 in debt. This car is $2,000. This man has no fucking idea what he's doing, because if he had a real job, he could pay off that car in 4 months in the long term. And like, if he really didn't give a fuck about living well, he could pay off that car very, very quickly. He wouldn't have any fucking worries.
Okay.
You're in deep and you deserve it. You deserve that
You made me do
confrontation.
that.
Exactly, and you deserve it, honestly, because you're not willing to deal with your ever. You're You're not able to fucking deal with a single fucking thing. You're an immature little brat. You are a joke in this world, okay? And you call someone else to try to get out of it. You, you're a joke.
You wish I was a joke, Caleb, but
Fine it. Oh, you affirmed a real estate license.
yeah, I did.
Okay, balance.
yeah, dude.
314.
I'm gonna become the best apartment locator the cities have seen. I'm gonna
You're
be,
just helping people find apartments?
Yeah, it's apartment locating, baby. It's working.
People don't- I don't think people really do that much in Austin. It's not New York or
No,
San
dude,
Francisco.
I am telling you. I
The
used to
comments, by the
apartment
way,
locator.
absolutely
Just go
torn
on
apart.
Zillow.
You don't need Zillow. You need me. That's what you
Why
need,
would
Caleb.
they use you?
Oh,
Someone
Caleb,
that's slower than them.
That's a good question because
Oh, here
Caleb,
he goes.
there's a lot on your plate, Caleb. You know, there's places to live, there's places to see, there's so many things to go to. But the problem is that you don't have time to figure out what you need. And so when you got a guy like me on your back,
A moron?
yeah, no, not a moron. And when you got someone like me, I'm there taking care.
Go into and just view what the apartment looks like and see all their amenities.
Yeah, well,
They don't need you anymore. You're outdated.
Where I really want to hear how he
The booze and
again
liquor.
with the credit card,
liquor
how he
and
looks at it and
fucking
what he thinks
smoke,
of it,
whatever.
because it's so unhinged.
We do that like 5 times. McDonald's. Booze, booze, booze. McDonald's. Booze. Ben weighing out money. Probably. Torchies. Smoke shop. McDonald's. Liquor. Liquor, liquor, liquor. DoorDash. Ben weighing out money. Liquor. 77 degrees, liquor and smokes and liquor round interviews. I do second.
It's time to take a spin on the new Fanatics
And this guy
Casino
in the post show, which is a fucking
Get up to
members only
$1,000
thing,
in casino
they give
play.
him a genuine
Join
interview
America's
just to see
fastest
how he would
growing
conduct
online
himself
casino.
because he
Terms
seems
apply.
to want a job
Download
there
the
so
Fanatics
bad.
Casino app now.
Second round interviews and last round, we're gonna conduct an actual formal job interview with him, and then we're gonna bring in some extra tea that the producers have as always.
So I couldn't find the credit card thing. But this guy's absolutely fucking unhinged. I don't want to drag this out just talking about him, but I did feel like I just needed to have you guys experience the absolute
Still a joke.
unhingedness.
You are pretty
that
good looking
was
though,
this
at
man.
least. I mean, can you say the same thing about yourself?
I don't know. I'm okay.
Okay, just all right. I'm just asking, you know. I mean, sometimes people have a low confidence issue, and you know, sometimes they
I'm
like
okay.
to.
Again,
He's just
I do
so
personal
fucking
training on the
stupid.
side, so if you know you need somebody, I
wouldn't trust you to
be
train a single thing.
I could be the in-office trainer, Caleb. I
No.
get
The
I get a little
in-office
Pilates
trainer?
studio in here.
No.
I get like everyone arms up. Let's
You
go. Let's
bring
go.
in
Let's
fucking
go.
prostitutes and
One,
f- them in
two,
our
three,
bathroom.
4, 5, and she actually says the same thing too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you
Who
can.
the prostitute?
Moving on. I could
the
be that personal trainer for the team, the best team. We would be winning like
We
no
already
one business.
are winning.
Yeah, I'm here already.
We keep A players, we get rid of B players.
B
We
players.
win.
Who's
Yeah,
the-
you're an E player.
E player, E for everybody.
It's hard to listen to. It genuinely is. He wants to do things that are a waste of time and money. He wants to put in no value into an actual media company, but make money. And Caleb's talked about this. Every single person on his team makes 6 figures salary. And he makes, like, his company makes over 6 figures a month before everything comes out. Like, he's doing something real. He's doing something real respectful. He's on the fucking grind. He films episodes 3 times a week, does the entire running of this company, and he's just absolutely fucking destroying the game. And this fucking leech wants to come in here and try to get something out of him, and Caleb's having none of it. None of it. This is pretty much how I feel. I just got promoted at work. After just watching 10 minutes of this episode, I feel like I've lost enough brain cells to no longer be qualified. That pretty much sums up that entire episode. But it's, he exploited prostitutes. Now he's fucked. Financial audit. Posted literally 22 hours ago. And it's absolutely crazy. I know this isn't relevant to the topic, but I've always thought it'd be neat if anyone could graft cannabis with tomatoes. I haven't looked into a lot of grafting research. I haven't looked into a lot of tissue culture, but we could definitely look up if it's possible. What would you try to be getting out of that? Iron Lung Productions. What would you try to? What would be the result you're looking for? Grafting cannabis with tomatoes. Multiple strains in one plant.
This channel is for adults only. I do not condone
Let's see if we
any
can.
illegal
How to Grow Weed at
activities,
Home. He's a huge
and
channel.
Everything I record is
has
for
a lot of my
educational
respect.
purposes only. With that said,
I'm gonna teach you how to grow some weed.
Let's see what we can learn, baby. Let's fucking
grafting
go.
cannabis is basically planting a plant onto another plant, and it doesn't even have to be the same strain. Here are
Sort of thing is pretty interesting. Highly doubt it would be able to get THC infused tomatoes, but it might help. A base for the mother plant. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if that's biologically possible. I don't know anything really. So let's just kind of get into
all
it.
the tools you'll
See
need
the
to
basic
graph,
method
and everything I
and
used
see.
is linked
Maybe I'll
in the
do a YouTube
description.
video where I try this
A
and
knife or
graft
razor
into
blade to
tomatoes and
split
see
the
if it
stem,
makes
trim
edible
scissors
tomatoes.
to cut the stem off of the plant, rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide to keep things sterile, water to cool down the super glue, these tall Ziploc bags which you could get at the Dollar Tree, super glue with cyanoacrylate, something to cut on, labels for your grafts, and last and most importantly, gloves.
Two separate
to
plants,
prevent
even though
you
they're
from
grafted
gluing
together. Thank you for your
yourself to
insight
yourself.
and knowledge,
All right.
Tim Yak.
So
on
let's
the
get
subject.
started.
That's
First,
what would make
put a
sense
glove
to
on
me,
your
but
inferior hand, then grab the
I don't
two
know, man,
plants
how
you'll
all
be
that works.
grafting.
But if
Pick
they're
a branch to graft
separate
that
but the
has
same,
at least
that makes
2
sense.
nodes and is around 4 inches long.
I know we might learn in this video, but if I grafted two cannabis plants together, would they kind of turn into one hybrid plant, or would they be two separate plants with one root system? I'm sure the roots of the plant would be able to feed, especially since tomatoes and cannabis grow so similarly and have such similar needs. I'm sure it wouldn't be that big of a difference, and I don't think it would make that big of an impact on one plant or the other to feed both of their needs at the same time. It seems like something that would work, but would it be worth it? Maybe if you're trying to do an incognito grow, and you need to have the thing be like secret, so you need to graft the plants with other plants to kind of camouflage them and have them like grafted in the back on the non-presenting side. But at that point you might as well just grow a screening crop and keep that from being visible in the first place, like switchgrass, which grows like 7 feet tall in 3 years or something like that. And then you can have an outdoor crop where as long as you keep the plants under that 7-foot mark, you should have no problems. I'm not an expert, but a 4 or 5 month plant being grafted sounds like the time it heals, it's ready to die. I'm not an expert, but a 4 or 5 month plant being grafted sounds like... Why do you say that? Because you can veg a plant for more than a couple months.
You want to pick one with a sturdy stem. Sterilize your knife and trimmer using rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide and cut it off. Bring this branch to a surface so that you can cut it cleaner with a knife. You want to cut the bottom of the branch and anything that might interfere into a V shape that's around 30 degrees. You want to work fast so that this remains an open wound, so immediately after you cut that V, go to the plant that you're grafting onto and cut off a branch with a similar size stem. This cut will be straight and horizontal, and immediately cut it again right through the center, about ½ inch down, using a
I don't know
sharp
who that
knife.
question mark is too,
Then
Tim. Yeah, 'cause
insert the
that's
clone
me.
you cut into this split as far down as possible. Now, grab your glue, and while pinching it with your gloved hands, you want to squeeze a drop of glue onto an open side. Keep holding the squeeze until it dries a little, then quickly go to the other side, hold your pinch, then drop the glue in. Keep pressure on the split, and the idea is to get open wound to open wound. By keeping your pinch, you're preventing the glue from going all the way down. Let it dry for about 10 seconds, and that should be enough to keep it together.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone
Blowing
use
on it
super
could
glue
help,
on a
and
plant.
I like to spray a little hydrogen peroxide to prevent mold. Last, grab a Ziploc, blow in it to open it up, and spray some water inside. Just like how clones love humidity, these grafts need extremely high levels, so make sure you completely cover the area and seal it as much as possible. Label it so you remember what it was. In 8 days, you'll cut the corners of the Ziploc to allow some air in. 5 days after the corner is cut, you could open up the...
I was surprised he is using super glue. I've never seen super glue used, but I'm sure it's a better adhesive than electrical tape, which is what I normally use to mend my plants together. It makes sense, along with the cloning principle and getting those plants actually together. But my question is, like, is this going to create a hybrid strain on that branch, or is it going to... with the way he's labeling it, it seems like it's going to be a different genetic on the same plant. So basically lowering your plant count, but at the same time having more variety, which could make this a very valuable tool for something like pheno hunting. But in that case, you would also need to make sure that it works. You'd need to tag the branch, and you need to make sure that everything is going smoothly. But theoretically, you could grow like 20 plants in one, and you couldn't get like prosecuted for it. You couldn't get arrested for it. This could be a very valuable tool for pheno hunting, personally for my canine cake, or pheno hunting for even mother plants of that cross. So I think that this would be a very fantastic thing to get into. It could be a very valuable tool for those who are in the grow space that want to have a better time pheno hunting. Pop 12 seeds at a time of the same genetic, graft those plants together, and then pheno hunt that way. Take clones of the grafted plants and just kind of do... It's a new plant attached to a established grant. It won't cross species in the cross strains in the process. So that makes this an incredibly valuable tool, which I am going to take full advantage of 100%. I have a bunch of wedding cake seeds. I have 3 seeds popped, and I could graft those 3 seeds together when they get big enough, which they're having a really hard time right now growing. I don't know what exactly is causing them to grow so slow, but they're stretching really high. It might just be super cold in this room, honestly. But they're stretching super high. They're not shooting out their true leaves quite yet. They're growing pretty slow. That'd be awesome if anyone had tried it. It'd be interesting to see what they can do to max out variety-wise. That's pretty awesome. Tim Yak grafting a male to a female. That might also be something I have to look into. Yeah, no, that just made breeding and pheno hunting so much easier. I also have, 13 seeds of something called Digital Dream. And if I just grafted a couple of those together, I could literally grow a bunch of different phenos in one plant. Or, I could do... 8 phenos with 4 plants.
The whole entire Ziploc.
This is a crazy tool to use.
A couple of days from then, you could remove it completely, and here you could see the graft in bloom. On the left, we have the GXS I grafted, and on the right, you have the original branch of a Mac Nano. The top of this plant was reversed using STS, so by grafting, I was able to get 2 different receiver seeds from the same exact plant. All I did was shake the pollen on top. These seeds on the bottom came from the graft, while these seeds on the center came from the rest of the plant. Notice the distinct difference in pattern on the seeds?
Pattern and size.
The pattern actually comes from the mom. So there's the proof.
Interesting.
If you enjoy this video, smash that like.
I didn't know that. Is anyone doing any breeding? Has anyone done any breeding using this method? Or has anyone used this method? I'm sure Tim Yak has, unless he's just really intelligent on the topic. The video does make it seem easy, but growing this plant... how long have you been growing Iron Lung Productions? Have you been growing for like a couple years? Or have you just like... This is your first year and you're just kind of learning and getting into it? Like, where are you at with growing? Because I've never seen you in the chat before.
Site hwgrow.com.
I'm gonna teach you how to grow some weed.
Mr. Grow It breeding his own cannabis strain. We can watch a little bit of his process. CE420, how to customize your high, uploaded today. How to graft cannabis. Do we want to look into another video of how to graft cannabis, or do we want to look into Mr. Grow It's breeding project? Not very knowledgeable. Hey, hit that subscribe button and we can get knowledgeable together, because I've only been growing for like 5 or 6 years now. Well, 5 years. I know enough to not attempt breeding. It takes 20 plus plants, including cloning. Doing it right is a science. Doing it right is definitely a science. But if you have quality genetics, I don't see why you would need to grow more than 20 plants just to get phenos that you're happy with. If you know what you're looking for, like personally me with the wedding cake, there is a pheno I have in mind. But if I come across a pheno that is better, more stable, has a better terpene profile, grows more vigorously, I'm obviously going to take that one. And if it comes from these 3 seeds, if it comes from the next round of seeds that I fucking graft together or whatever, you don't need to do a huge pheno hunt to do a breeding, especially if you're doing it on your own. For your own personal like use, you can just take the first male Blue Dream, the first female Blue Dream that you're happy with, breed those together, and you're going to get something decent. But if you're doing something and you want to make it a passion project, obviously it gets a little bit more labor intensive and complicated. And if you're looking for something super specific, it can definitely get crazy with the back crossing, the pheno hunting, and all that stuff. So it can be as complicated as you want it, just like any other part of breeding, or any other part of growing, rather. Your video about spray-on turfs made me aware they were even a thing. Live in Australia and haven't seen them where I live at all. It's very possible that the Australian market is very different than the U.S. market. I do come from America. I come from Michigan, which is the most lenient state other than possibly California when it comes to growing cannabis, especially at home for your own personal use in the United States. I am very happy about where I live when it comes to the space. Very happy where I live in general. Obviously, we have a lot of things to work on, but Michigan, overall, I would say is a pretty great state to live if you're looking to move to a state where you can have a rural living area, or you want to live in a city, or you're retiring and you want to go up north where it's just beautiful all the time and you don't really have anything you need to do other than buy groceries and stay at home and go sightseeing and look at the beautiful parts of nature. It's just a great state overall, but our cannabis market needs some regulation, unfortunately, in the right areas, to where we aren't doing things that are going to damage the public as a whole by trying to fake high quality products. Mr. Grow It, the man, the myth, the legend.
I'm back. What's up, everybody? If you that don't know me, my name is Chris, aka Mr. Grow It, and today I've got a topic video for you. Before we get into the video,
and I actually love pheno hunting so much. I did it so much back in the day. When I was cloning, I was finding things I like. I was recreating them again and seeing if I could do it better. I actually got onto a show and did a full episode of Garden Talk with Mr. Grow It, where I talked about being able to pheno hunt with plant limits, and we talked about growing all from 12, which is my limit, all the way down to 4, which is just the least amount of plants you can grow anywhere, other than maybe a couple places where you can only grow 2. I think your biggest worry is going to be like 4. Growing 4 plants and trying to do a pheno hunt with 4 plants to choose from is extremely difficult, but it is possible. I don't want to discourage anyone from thinking or from pheno hunting or from growing in general, thinking they need to grow hundreds of plants or tens of plants to find something they like. It's just not the case at all. I've grown so many genetics that I enjoy. I've grown so many different pheno variations from plants that I enjoy, and I have just I've been through the ringer enough to know that a lot of the things people say normally comes down to where they're sourcing their seeds and what genetics they're sourcing as to if they're quality or not. It's a very nice place to live. And most things aren't trying to fucking kill you, like in Australia.
I just want to thank you all who have stayed subscribed to this channel. For those of you who don't know, the past 3 months, all the videos on this channel were marked as private. YouTube had actually issued me warnings and strikes, and they almost took down this channel again for the 2nd time. I did appeal the warnings and strikes, but the appeal was denied. So in order to be safe, I did private all my videos and then waited until the strikes and warnings rolled off. And now we're good to go. But for the past 3 months, I wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. I was uploading to my 2nd YouTube channel.
So kudos to this guy
for over 30 videos onto that channel. So if you missed those videos, I'll leave a link to my 2nd channel in the description section below.
Him just getting put through the ringer and then coming back and all that stuff.
So I did actually breed
Huge
my own
shout
strain.
out to Mr. Growit.
And in this video, I really want to get into some details about how I went about doing that. And really get you guys caught up all the way up to the point to where I am now, to where the strain that I've bred is currently in the flowering stage. Just a quick disclaimer before we get into the rest of the video. I'm just
this was like
what I'm doing.
right towards
this video
the
is
beginning
for
of
educational purposes.
Process.
According to YouTube's terms of service, educational videos like this are eligible for monetization. Although YouTube recently took away my monetization. But that's another story. Let's talk about breeding.
That's one of the craziest things, in my opinion, is even with a lot of videos where I don't even show plants. They are okay with you doing educational videos about this recreational drug. Let's call it what it is. And then they say that, they put it in there that you would be able to make money, you would be able to be monetized. Yet, every single time you post about it, almost every single time, you're demonetized. Like, I can go through here. My last 2 videos, fortunately, for now, are fully monetized. The ones I uploaded literally this morning. So let's see if that's still the case. That is still the case. But, view all videos. So my past 3, fully monetized, very fortunate. And then we get into one that has limited ads, which means I'm not making any money on it. Then we got one that's fully monetized. And then 1, 2, 3 past videos are completely demonetized. Well, not completely, because I can still make money when members watch, which is a good reason why you should be a member to the channel, because it helps out and helps support the channel, and you get early access to videos and prioritize responses on comments and whatever. You get a lot of perks. And then we got a video that's fully monetized. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos that are not. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are not. So it's very random. It's all educational. It's all under the educational tab. I make it very apparent that I am an educator in the topic. Teaching what I know to people who may not. Is there a strain you've been trying to get a hold of, but just can't? Like an exclusive one? Thought there'd be more better question opposed to what's your favorite strain. One that I've been trying to get a hold of. It's not that I can't. It's not that anything is super exclusive. That I'm looking towards. Like, I'm not trying to get a specific cut of something that's super in demand. But if I were to pick a strain right now that I wanted to get a hold of that I just have not had the opportunity to grow to completion. I would have to say I'm not sure. And that's not because there's not a lot of options. It's just hard to pick just one. But if I were to pick one off the top of my head, I'd have to say Blackberry Moon Rocks would be probably at the top. Blackberry Moon Rocks, I got the seeds for it. I tried to germinate them. The seedling died. Wasn't able to grow to completion. When I can get more of that strain, when I am financially like in a position where I can buy the genetics I want to get, I'm going to have Blackberry Moon Rocks. You can use my link to get Seedsman seeds if you guys are looking for genetics, and you can use a promo code for AC Infinity. The promo code for AC Infinity is Express420. Save some money at checkout. Get a serious, like, get all the grow equipment you can possibly need, except I think a humidifier is what they're missing. But dehumidifiers, exhaust fans, grow tents, all that good stuff you can get on there. And then Seedsman Seeds, if you're looking for genetics, they also partner with other breeders. I have Black Sugar 2.0, and I have Blue Sunset Sherbert in my cart right now, and those are the next ones I'm going to be getting. So you can look forward to that in the future, but I do have a link, and it's under my videos. You click on that, save some money at checkout, and also support the channel. And same with AC Infinity, but you do need to use the promo code at checkout. So that's my little shameless plug.
First off, I am by no means an expert at breeding. This is my first.
Also, a question to Mr. Growit. I know you're probably definitely not watching this right now. But are you planning on selling clones at some point? Are you planning on doing a pheno hunt, finding the elite phenos of the Chill Out OG, which is the breeding project he's going through right now, I believe, on this video? Are you going to pick cuttings from the Chill Out OG that you eventually want to sell as elite phenos that you have
First
found
time
in
ever
your
doing
garden?
it. I am learning as I'm going, and I'm having fun with it. The two strains I decided to start with are Pakistan Valley by World of Seeds and Brisker OG by Square One Genetics. Pakistan Valley is a 100% indica strain from the Hindu Kush mountain range. Just like a typical indica strain, it does stay squat and is bushy with large fan leaves. It has mixed colors towards the end of flowering.
Chill Out OG
favoring
is
purple,
one that
a big
you guys
bud
should
structure
definitely get a
with
hold of,
excellent
but I currently
stacking.
have it growing,
It has
or else
both
I
a
would have said
fruity
Chill Out
smell
OG.
and taste, and its effects are very narcotic. It personally makes me sleepy, and I love taking a few hits of it before I go to bed.
Dude, it makes me
Brisker
so
OG,
fucking
on the other
sleepy.
hand, is an indica-dominant hybrid cross
The Chill Out
between
OG
the
does.
clone-only Tahoe OG and Peanut Butter Breath. In my experience growing this strain, it was very vigorous, and it stretched like a typical OG, so long internodes. Also, during the 3-week stretch phase, it did stretch close to 3 times its size. It had the classic OG Kush smell, and it also showed some purpling during its fade. It made me very relaxed, euphoric,
I would love some
and
purpling
hungry.
during my
I
fade
decided
of
to
the Chill
cross
Out
these strains in
OG.
order to create a powerful indica-dominant hybrid that has a strong narcotic effect. This strain should absolutely hit you hard with a heavy body sensation and allow you to relax without worry. It will most likely be an excellent choice to consume prior to bed as well. This should certainly be an interesting grow, since the mother, Pakistan Valley, is a short stout plant, 100% pure indica, and then the father, Brisker OG, is a fast-growing lengthy strain, like a typical OG. Factoring in all of that, I would like to find a pheno that grows vigorously, but doesn't stretch as much as the OG side does. I look for stacking, like the Pakistan Valley, with bud
I
structure
would love
like
some
the Brisker
stacking like
OG.
that, dude.
I personally suffer from chronic pain, so I'm hoping this strain does provide a pain relief as needed.
It definitely
Genetic
does.
traits suggest that it may also help with insomnia, stress, depression, and a lack of appetite, but certainly I'm not making any claims here. The Brisker OG plant that I used was an absolute beast.
I will claim that. The Chill Out OG, for me, it does right exactly what he claimed it does on the money. I actually have a Chill Out OG strain review. And I'll link that real quick. because this was fresh in my mind what I thought of Chill Out OG after I grew it, after I did all that stuff. Fantastic strain, absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 recommend it.
I
Should
grew
be
it
in
out
every
way
single
bigger
garden.
than I needed to, but that's okay. It had fantastic flower stacking, and pollen was bursting all over the place. I actually filmed the pollen collection process and released a couple videos on it on my second channel for those of you that are interested. The female Pakistan Valley plant I intentionally kept small, as you can see here. It was really just one stray cola coming up. I think I only vegged it for like 20 or 25 days and didn't do any plant training. To pollinate the female plant, I simply sprinkled some of the Brisker OG's pollen on the Pakistan Valley's buds. Then, within the Pakistan Valley's buds, seeds started to form. After the seeds developed on the plant and I harvested the plant, I broke up the buds and sorted out the seeds by hand. This can certainly be a time-consuming process, which is another reason why I kept the plant small. I didn't need a large amount of seeds. My next step after this is to simply pop 10 seeds and see what I get. Also, a handful of testers got them, and they were actually able to grow out the strain before I did. Here are a few pictures from the testers.
Absolutely beautiful.
And then here's a video, thanks to High Sierra Grow Bro.
And last but not least, the beautiful Brisker OG Pakistan Valley Cross.
Yeah, I don't even think he called it Chill Out OG yet, but mine looked very similar to that.
And that does continue all the way down. Oh god, this shit smells so stinky.
He has a YouTube channel as well, so if you want to see more of this plant plus other plants in his garden, I will leave a link to his channel in the description section below. Before we continue this video, I would like to say thanks to EnviroCleanse. EnviroCleanse sent me over their portable air purification system. This system will not only clean the air in your grow room, but depending on the size of your home, it could clean the air in your entire house. This is especially useful for those of you who smoke in your house. I frequently smoke joints and blunts within my home, and that of course results in a stale smoke smell. This EnviroCleanse unit quickly removes that smell. It doesn't use carbon, so there's no buildup of smell with the potential to re-release like a carbon filter does. EnviroCleanse uses their own patented technology, which breaks down the odors instead. I will leave a link to the
I'd love to grow a plant that's like 2 meters tall one day. Not sure if I can, but a man can dream. That's 6 feet, right? So, I'll tell you what, man. Growing a plant that's 2 meters tall, what kind of grow space are you dealing with? What size is your grow space? 3 meters? Bro, you're getting crazy with that. The problem with growing a plant that's taller than you, I'll tell you right now, it's that you can't look for pest, mold, disease, anything like that above like your eyesight, like your eye line. It gets really difficult. So unless you have like a ladder that you can climb on to be able to inspect your plant, I personally wouldn't recommend it because anything can happen at any point in the grow, and there's always that risk there. If you're willing to deal with the risk simply for a taller plant, go for it. But if you want to grow a lot of yield but also keep your plant stout, you can get the same yield that you would off a 3-meter plant on a plant that is like 1.5, 2 meters tall, while at the same time being a little bit wider by doing low stress training. So if I don't know, a walk-in robe? What do you mean by a walk-in robe? But yeah, it makes maintenance pretty crazy. If you just low stress train and keep that plant stout, if you're just looking for a higher yield, definitely do low stress training and high stress training to keep that plant stouter. But if you're just looking for the novelty of growing a tall plant just to say you did it, go for it. See how it goes.
In the description section below.
Nothing wrong with
also,
that.
They provided a coupon code for my viewers. Use code MrGrowIt for 10% off. Now it was my turn to plant seeds and see what I get. Such an exciting moment. This was just as exciting, if not more exciting, than my first harvest. After getting the plants DNA sex tested, I had 3 females and 5 males. I have a ton of footage of these plants, so I think instead of cramming all the footage into this video and making it a super long video, I'll create either a seed to harvest video or a grow series for these plants. But to sum things up for you here, the male plants I ended up growing out and doing a mini phenohunt. I chose the best male out of those 5 plants and collected the pollen from it. The 3 females are still growing right now, and harvest is right around the corner. These 3 females unfortunately went through some ups and downs. I switched fertilizers recently and some of the plants weren't getting the nutrition that they needed, but I look at that as a positive since I now have a little bit better of an understanding of how much nutrients they like. As of right now, I'd say this strain is a bit more of a heavy feeder, but I would like to grow it out again in order to get a better feel for it. Here are the 3 females a few weeks before harvest. As you can see here, they are starting to fade a little bit. I'll be lowering the night temps to see if we can get some of the purpling that's in its genetics to come out. So where do I go from here? I actually used some of the pollen from the male offspring to pollinate a branch of one of the females.
Oh, so a big walk-in closet. Have you've probably seen my grow setup if you're a fan of the channel. I used to grow in a giant, basically a warehouse. It was a big pole barn. That's where I would grow my giant, like 6-foot tall plants. And if I wanted to, I definitely could have grown plants that were like 9, 10, 12 feet tall, but I just didn't see the point. It wasn't really practical. It really deterred me away. And when I wanted to get those larger harvests off of plants, I would take genetics like White Widow and Green Crack and plants that stayed stouter naturally, and then I would just bend them out and make them super wide and get those like 10-ounce harvests off of a single plant.
So the seeds that come from this will be an F2. The Sage and Sour Keeper pheno from the Patreon exclusive grow series will also be pollinated. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all of that. And click the bell to be notified when I release a new video. I just want to say a big thank you to those of you who support me on Patreon. Every little bit helps, especially with YouTube not monetizing my channel.
But right now I grow in a
There's an
fucking
entire
5x2.5 closet.
5-episode grow
is
series
what my plants
on
are
a
flowering
phenohunt
in. I have
that's
some
exclusive
outside
to
and I have
Patreon.
some vegging in my
Also,
main
I do
room right
early
now.
releases, so this
Which-
particular video that you just watched.
I mean, I guess I
was
could
on
turn the
Patreon a few
camera
weeks ago.
around,
So if you
but
want
it's
to
kind
unlock
of a
an
mess in
exclusive grow
here.
series and see early releases, I'll leave a link to my Patreon page in the description section below. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
But yeah, that's the beginning of the Chill Out OG cross. And I don't know how much of my old videos you watched, but we can go back. My oldest videos. I want to get to one that I was like genuinely like super proud of. Grow With Me week 8 of flower, I remember is pretty was pretty fire. This was before I showed my face.
Welcome to the Grow With Me. We are coming to a very, very wonderful end to this Grow With Me series. Not quite yet. We got a couple more episodes to go, but everything is looking so amazing. As soon as I step into the flower room, all I can smell is the grapefruit. So that's what we're gonna get into first. Don't forget to like and
Dude, the
subscribe.
grapefruit was
Let's
such a
fucking
beautiful smelling
check
plant.
it
That's
out.
probably one I would buy again,
So here
honestly.
we go. We got the grapefruit plant, which has swelled up so much. It's really packing on the weight these last few weeks. We officially cut off nutrients last week. I started seeing some milky trichomes, so decided to cut it off because
What's
I
up,
harvest
AA
one that's
Ron?
mostly milky, maybe a little bit of amber sneaks itself in
Fucking
there.
live with the boys.
Still trying to find a perfect balance. As
Good
you
to
guys
fucking
all
see ya,
know,
man.
I am not the best grower in the world, but I do have
Far
a few
from
things to teach people, and that is what I'm here for. But this
Dude,
grapefruit
honestly,
super
this is one of
amazing.
those plants
I'm
I would
definitely more
take a
excited
bite
for the
out of.
grapefruit than the lemon kush. simply because of how it smells, and it probably, based on how it looks, how it smells, how it feels, I'm gonna guess that it is going to be a similar smoke to the Blue Dream, which is very amazing and super smooth. If you guys have not smoked Blue Dream before, I definitely recommend it. Don't pick it up at a dispensary, but if your buddy's got some, go get it. So this is the grapefruit, just looking amazing. We're seeing all those amber
Against
colored
the
hairs,
dispos
which
since
don't
fucking
indicate
2021,
anything other than this is
3
a
years
very,
ago.
very beautiful
So like maybe
plant,
2022.
and I have very, very wonderful genetics. Now, I'm super excited.
I can actually
hope you
see
guys are
the
too.
date
Let's
this
get
was
over to the
posted.
White Widow, which is literally touching this plant right here. But I'm gonna do a jump cut anyway because
June
that's how this channel
17th,
works.
2021.
So right here we have the very beautiful, very stout White Widow.
This was before I was a dad. Yeah, this was before my wife was even pregnant for the first time, if I remember correctly.
It is not even exceeding my hip level when it comes to height.
Yeah, this was posted.
It really did not get as tall as I would have
Yeah,
liked
no,
it,
this
but
was
I was growing all
much
these plants
before
at the same
she was
time.
pregnant
As
for
you
the
guys
first
know,
time.
put them in the ground at the same time. Gonna harvest them probably right around the same time, maybe a couple days different.
And now I have 2 kids.
Maybe even depending on how they
Blue
grow,
Dream is
maybe
also one of my
different, who
all-time
knows,
favorites.
but
It's one I've been wanting to get.
They're very wonderful.
It's one I've been wanting to get a hold of for a long time, but I do have a Blue Dream cross, and I have the Blueberry, which is a parent of the Blue Dream. So I do have the Blue Dream, like, lineage in my home, and I am very excited to see how it turns
Very
out.
amazing. It just did all that good stuff. Super good quality. I'm loving it so
What is the
far.
White Widow?
We're seeing a lot of progression, even though this girl went through some serious defoliation not that long ago, and it is still pulling strong here at the last couple weeks of flower. So that is the White Widow overview.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It doesn't have a very distinct smell. That's something I noticed. It's not a super potent smell.
Very
at all.
happy
I don't know if
completing
that's
the family
normal.
dynamic.
Let me know what you guys think. Have you grown White Widow
I have a cut of Santa Cruz Blue Dream.
before? Have
What
you
is
not?
Santa
Have you
Cruz Blue
smoked
Dream?
it?
Is that like a cross? Is it like
Is
a
it normal?
specific
Blah, blah,
pheno?
blah. So I would appreciate.
Good to see a Squirrel Master,
that,
by the way.
If you guys would care to leave that down, but we got super sticky plants. Super sticky plants, and I'm super excited to harvest these with you guys.
Super.
I've been feeding these girls exclusively Remo.
I said
nutrients,
super a lot back in
and
the
it
day,
has
but
just
everything was
been
super
a
to me because
great
it was weed.
experience, and I'm loving what they're doing.
I was just very
to my
proud of what I
garden.
could do, even though we were
Let's get
plagued
over
by
to the
powdery
lemon
mildew,
kush
and
close
at
this video
times we
out.
had
Well,
spider
I gotta
mites.
stand back as usual when going over this lemon kush plant. It is super huge. And the colas are just amazing. Every time I grow, I'm just getting better and better and better. All these cycles, I'm yielding more and more. That could have something to do with how long I'm vegging, could have something to do with me just kind of getting better at stuff subconsciously and just kind of throwing things back and being like, yep, I know to do that now. But you guys know how the brain works. That is one bud right there. That is ginormous.
Yeah, the buds on the fucking lemon kush, dude. They were crazy. The weed monster in Scary Movie.
Like, let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, no, I grew like
There it is to my fingers.
fire
I
dank,
got-
even a
I
couple
wear
years into
large
growing.
gloves, so like I got some pretty normal sized hands, but that is just an amazing bud, and these are awesome colas, and I'm loving the color.
Also, the
loving
lemon kush was
smell,
crazy
loving
turfed out.
everything
One of my
about it.
favorite pictures I
Again,
ever took of weed was of a
exclusively
lemon
Remo
kush.
nutrients. We got, I think, a 1,000 or 1,500 metal haloid with a hood over it, right here, and we got 3 of those, and then we have an LED coming around here, and we got a CO2 burn.
Were you much into growing other plants growing up before cannabis? No, I wasn't super passionate about gardening until I started gardening cannabis. I was very passionate about this plant for a very long time. Even in middle school, I wrote a persuasive essay on why it should be legalized. and I got a very good grade on it. I think I got an A on that paper. Just putting my position out there, citing studies into how the plant operates, and being able to get an understanding of a plant that is so misunderstood by society, and it being an outlier. And I could relate to the plant in that way. I was very passionate about having an identity through the plant, that it just kind of naturally progressed into where we're at today. DJ Short Blueberry crossed with Super Silver Haze. It's a stronger sister. What do you mean by stronger? Like a more tranquil, or just a more vigorous plant?
Burner.
Or both.
ppm is 1330 today. Doing really great. Super frosty. I'm so excited.
That was the CO2 ppm, by the way. 1300.
This has just been the most amazing experience, and I can't thank
Oh,
you
for
guys
sure.
enough
All through
for
high school,
following along.
I've had a huge passion for it, and in
Let
college.
me know how your girls are doing.
I didn't.
Even if you're not following along, I'd love to hear.
I didn't end up growing for a long time until 2020 or 2021. I can't remember exactly what year. But the reason I waited so long to start growing was because my number one rule was to not get arrested. I did not want to have an illegal operation because I did not want to get in trouble with police, even if they just so happened to show up at my door and want to audit my plant count or what I was doing, or I didn't want to be incarcerated. And now, not only do I want to grow and not get incarcerated, and I want to keep the momentum up and not leave abruptly from the platform I've spent many years cultivating, and people like you, I don't want to leave you guys in the dust. I also have a family I need to be here for, and I have being a father and a husband, and I have responsibilities, and I have to make money, and I have to keep a roof over our head, food on the table, and get out of debt. All these things, and everything will halt if I go to jail. And the number one thing that's always bothered me since I was a child was wasted potential, just because of where I grew up and who I grew up around. I never wanted to waste anything by something that could have been avoided. That's one of the reasons I did not do any like unaliving tendencies or had any sewer slide thoughts. Like obviously I felt that, and I was like, man, it would be so much easier if I were gone at times. But the fact that I could look at my life and say I have a future and I'm going to be an adult at some point, and people will not have the control over me that they do now, that brought a big relief of I don't want to waste the potential of being an adult. And now that I'm here, I'm just super happy, and I'm living the life that I've always wanted to live. I have 2 kids. I got a house, growing a plant that people are passionate about. I'm being able to see the legal market come, and more people being able to legally get into the plant without the mental strain of being paranoid that they're going to get their door kicked down one day and have it all end for them. And it's just a beautiful blessing that I would have never seen if I left the earth as a teenager.
Hear how your guys' gardens are doing. I hope they're green and luscious and wonderful. But I don't really have a lot to report on. This plant's doing amazing for being in a 7-gallon pot and belonging in a 15-gallon pot, you know, because it can hardly even hold itself up.
I was really lazy with the growing.
I come in here every day
and transplanting when I needed
to
to.
the side, and it's not because I'm underwatering it.
More potent?
It's because it's just packing on all that weight and it can't hold itself up. So maybe if somebody
always have
did
to
a
do
little
what's
bit
best
more
for yourself,
cushioning
man.
chiropractic,
Even if you need to get
or
professional
rolling
help,
these
like you just
tops
need to
under
have that honest
in
conversation
between
with
his
yourself.
fingers, and he took off a lot of the sucker branches down below, maybe that would be a different story. So that's some stuff to work on for number 2.
I hope that
of the Grow With Me
I hope
series.
that plant ends up
But
really good for you, Squirrel
I will
Master.
see you guys next time. I hope you guys are enjoying all
Here, let's react to one more video from back in the day, because I do love watching. I haven't done like a video where I react to my own content from back in the day. But I do know that that's something I've been wanting to do, because a lot of people like seeing the old stuff that they weren't around for at the time. I did a purple Ferrari and pink tsunami grow with me. Flower room so frosty. Flower room update. I love that picture when I took it. That's a white widow pheno. And I took clones off of that one and had triplet white widows that were just the best plants that I've probably ever grown, honestly. Coming back with big changes. This was my face reveal. 3 years ago now. They are coming down. 2-minute video. Date 2.0. Bud development. Did I really? There's no way, right? Here, let's watch this video. It's a 2-minute update.
How is it going, everyone? Cannabis Express.
I like the long hair. Look, I play music and also have chest length hair. Yeah, I just got tired of having long hair after a while, so I decided to cut it like a month ago.
420 here, coming to you live from the flower room. We have,
for a lot of personal
I'll
reasons.
give you the lineup real quick. We got the pink tsunami right
Tsunami.
here, the second pink tsunami. That one was
These were the
from
first
seed.
seeds I got for
harvested
free.
the
This was a
clone
really big
yesterday.
deal.
We have the green crack right here.
Green crack, one of my
We
all-time
got the
favorites.
purple Ferrari grow with me. And we have the blue dream right here, right behind me. And everything looks like it's going to come down within the week. So I will be having harvest videos coming out probably soon.
This is when I started experimenting with B-roll, having a lot of powdery mildew.
Some of these amazing buds, because despite the powdery mildew doing a bit of a number on all of the plants, some got it worse than others. These buds are looking really great. The Blue Dream got almost no powdery mildew. She's looking very beautiful and looks like she's gonna give me a lot of quality bud here. Green Crack got it the worst. But a lot of these buds are gonna be quality. The powdery mildew stayed away from the buds for the most part. So I'm pretty happy with everything turning out the way that it is.
The last purple Ferrari I grew was in my closet, and that was the last seed I had of it. And it turned out to be so fantastic. I love Future Genetics. I wish that they would still be around and that you could get access
I love
to
how
their
all
seeds.
of the plants are super dense when it comes
I
to
worked
their
with them for a
foliation,
short time, and then they
which
kind of
means
went
we're
out
gonna
of
get
business,
a
basically.
lot of buds, probably a lot more popcorn buds than I would like, but that's okay because it still measures and it still smokes.
My maintenance
So,
was not there.
if you want to stick around and stay tuned and
Plant size, fantastic. Maintenance, not super great. That definitely had some work going into it. We had humidifiers running, or dehumidifiers running, and we had to empty it pretty much every single day because of how humid that room was running. And then it was basically just free water. But yeah, that's a couple of my old videos from back in the day, fucking 3 years ago, and it seems like it was just yesterday. I was growing in that ginormous garage. And we had 2 giant rooms, one I would veg in, and then we'd move the plants over to the garage and we would flower them out, and they were just absolutely giant plants we were able to make. And that was basically the foundation of being able to do this for you guys. I remember hitting my first 100 subscribers. I remember hitting 300 and being like, man, this could actually go somewhere. And now I'm getting 50 to 70 subscribers a month on a slow month. And then on those months where it goes crazy during the year, September, October, November, man, I get like fucking over 100, and it's absolutely unreal. I remember hitting 1,000 subscribers and doing my 1 gram dab challenge, which I don't know. Have you guys seen that? Is there anyone here who missed the 1 gram dab? Have not seen it. Let's actually go back and see if I can find it. Because that was something to behold. And hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is a big, big deal. First 1,000 is like the hardest to get, and then it supposedly gets easier from there. I didn't take it down, did I? Oh, here it is. So last night, I finally attempted the challenge that I'm pretty sure at this point is extremely, almost near impossible. I wasn't even able to... Sugar Glider's going nuts in the background. I wasn't even able to finish the challenge, and I got sent to another dimension. But before we get into the 1 gram dab, and I remember this high, you guys know that very vividly. It sucked. First off, Giant Dabs and me. I don't recommend it. Like Charles White and Capsaicin, it's just not a super pretty picture when you put the two together. But I really wanted to put my entire heart into this challenge and face it with as much bravery and possibly ignorance as I possibly could. And you know, thank you guys for your support. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Oh no, it was. I vomited for literal hours but without further straight. Ado, let's get right into the challenge. Say hey. What the fuck? The camera's being all fucking wacky. Yeah, we should probably get this. Shout out to Hikers Cannabis, by the way. They gave me a 1 gram dab, and I bought a 1 gram dab, and they were like, "We're gonna give you a free one, just so you got options for when you go into this challenge."
Yeah, I have full.
This is a single gram of 11 roses supplied by Hikers Cannabis, a local dispensary shop which sells great products for low prices.
Do you want the bong or the nectar collector?
The nectar collector?
Rockin'.
No, we're going for the bong, actually.
Oh, okay.
The nectar collector was the question.
I love nectar.
So I had my wife, a sibling, and then a friend.
What?
Well, someone who was a friend at the time. All going over this. It's an absolute fucking beast. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all in like one scoop. I think I'm going to have to do multiple, like...
You're going to have to heat it and then go as far as you can and then heat it some more because there's more dab.
Alright.
Eat it.
Alright.
Yeah, actually eat it.
That was a bong that I got my brother, actually. And the framing absolutely sucked, but I can't remember... Scoop to start. How's that look, Jackson?
Pretty good.
Good shit. I can't remember if we actually show me taking the rip on camera. Oh shit, my audio cut out? Oh, I fast forwarded it and brought the audio down. I've also got that GMO cookies. You guys can take some rips of that later if you want to. Yeah, I took the rips off camera because I thought maybe it would help with the monetization. Fucking fire. Huge cloud, lungs burning, esophagus fucking going somewhere else. Suffering. Taking sips of Mountain Dew, acting like it's gonna help.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
You still got quite a bit left.
Yeah, I think you can do it. You can do it.
Whole side, dude.
Do it. You can do it. You can do it.
I'm already so much, and that's fucking holy shit.
Do it.
Dude, honestly. And this fucking absolutely destroyed, because I took a big scoop off of it, too. I was not fucking around. I think that's the biggest, like...
It's just pain.
The biggest individual dab I've ever taken.
Pain and suffering. You're already in pain, so being more in pain while also being so much more stoneder.
I mean, it can only last for so long, right?
Dude, me too. I've been too high a lot of times, but this is the highest I've ever been.
They're not.
No, just will it out of existence.
That's what Jackson was like, oh, I'm stoned. He goes, no, you're not. Excuse me. Be free.
And by the way, now we're almost at 4,000 subscribers.
Oh, Pride Month, God. Help me.
Round 2.
Oh my god, that was only like 0.4.
Cement. I spilled water on your cement.
No, look over there. Huh?
Fuck. Fuck that. You might have iron lungs, god damn it.
Oh my god.
But I don't.
I was not anticipating this at all.
What did I say telling you?
I did not know what to expect at all going into this. I've never taken a gram bigger than like a little bit.
Long fucking time.
And taking these rips, man, made me absolutely want to fucking die. But if there are any, like...
Go.
I want to do, like, weed blind taste tests to see if I can tell the difference between phenos or the difference between organics or the difference between dispo and homegrown stuff. Just for fun. Taking them quick, small hits, hoping that it won't hurt so bad.
More than half.
He said too much.
The people around me are suspecting that I've definitely smoked too much.
Did you measure it out first?
You just sold it as a gram unit. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
You're not gonna pack my gram fat. It's a fucking dispo.
I was too high to comprehend what they were asking. They were asking if I think they were asking if I measured out what I've already smoked because they knew I wasn't going to get through it.
I did fear.
He's on the ground. He's horizontal.
Oh yeah, he's gotta be horizontal. That's not good.
Don't kick over the bomb.
I got you.
I could just foresee that happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's happened more than a time or two. I've broken so much glass in my day.
Are you done?
I think if I smoke anymore, I'd actually have to call the hospital.
I literally unironically thought that. This is the only time I've ever been so high that the ER seemed like a good option.
Just get up and like jump around and
You'll be fine.
I'm moving away tomorrow, guys.
to Illinois. If you see Dana, that's what you heard.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Tapped out.
Is that all she wrote, babe?
I think so, yeah. I think I have to tap out.
When are you gonna attempt the 1 gram dab again.
Wow, I don't fucking know when I'm 50.
On your deathbed. That'd be what killed you.
Alright, you want your video stopped?
To heaven and just feel like that forever.
Do you want your video stopped?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm good. So as you can see there, obviously, I was not having a... I did have a trippy experience. I actually saw the world like start to black out. I saw stars in the background, and I saw a grid. When I laid down the first time, that's what I was seeing. I saw just dark grid, like graph paper grid, white streaks, and like the universe, stars in the distance type shit. And that was really hard. And after the video, I puked for literally 2 hours straight. After somehow making it into the house and bringing all my recording equipment in. And then after that, I laid down and I passed out on the couch and woke up at like 2 in the morning. A great time. I actually threw up for a couple hours that night, and I had a very long recovery time. I think my first mistake was going in for a second round of that absolute demon sauce. So I want to give one more shout out to Hikers Cannabis for supplying the fantastic 11 Roses. And I also want to let you guys know that I don't even think I made it halfway through. I might have gotten close, but man, that second dab just sent me to another multiverse. It was not great. I was doing some Rick and Morty type fucking travel in there. So I want to let you guys know that that was some crazy wild shit, and it did not feel good doing that much dab. So I do not recommend that anyone else tries this. I was in a lot of pain, and I was not put in a very good place after that. As you could see, I had to have someone else, my fiance, stop the recording because I was not going to be able to get up. And I didn't get up off the floor for probably about another hour, or it could have been like 5 hours. I'm not sure. Time kind of just didn't exist in that state. So there you have it. I gave it an attempt, and I can't say I'll ever try this again. But if I do, it will probably be a couple years down the line, if not at least a decade. So I hope you guys enjoyed that crazy show and me suffering and putting my lungs through immense torture. So thank you guys very much. I didn't realize how evil Kayla was. I've never even tried it, and I've been dabbing for many years. I'm just not into hurting myself. I used to revel in pain, not cause it. I like your honesty. Yeah, no, it was half a century. Yeah, I wait 50 years. Yeah, no, fucking, I don't know if I'll ever attempt that again. Like, maybe, like, the only time I could ever see wanting to do it again is if I could quit my job and go full-time doing YouTube. I think that would be the only plausible time that it would make sense to even attempt doing something like that again. But overall, 10 out of 10, don't recommend. But I've been hanging out here with you guys for a little while, reacted to some of my content. We looked at an unhinged financial audit episode. We looked into breeding and grafting and pheno hunting. I had a fantastic time, and I hope you guys did as well. If there are people here who are watching this who have not subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do. And if you are subscribed but you want exclusive perks within the channel, go ahead and consider hitting up that membership program. And thanks for hanging out, and thanks for chatting, Iron Lung Productions, Tim Yak, Squirrel Master, and hey, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. Leave a like on your way out. Bye.